I'm Michelle Calloway, your host for Tech with Heart. We're so delighted to have you with us today as we are going to be discussing how to build a standout social media brand. Tech with Heart is all about empowering business professionals to be successful in a digital era, and social media is really where it's at when it comes to online visibility. So with us, we have a very special guest. Her name is Faith James, and I just want to let you know that she is the one that's going to help you make a huge shift in your online social media presence. And before I give her the stage, I just want to do a quick little introduction of her. She is the CEO and Chief Brand Strategist of the Personal Branding Consultancy, or otherwise known as the Branding Ninja. So welcome to the Tech with Heart stage. Faith, take it away.
Thank you, Michelle. I've actually never heard anybody actually do it with animation and movement. I love that. Thank you. It's such a great pleasure and an honor to be here sharing this moment with you. I know that you are all about all things tech, having tech be a way that entrepreneurs and business owners can not only automate, but sort of get more visibility in front of their potential people, clients, raving fans, etc. So to be able to join you in this conversation is my deep honor. So thank you for having me.
Absolutely. That is what Tech with Heart is. We don't want to just promote technology. We want to promote technology use to obviously help businesses stay relevant and competitive and add efficiency to their systems through automation, yes, but we cannot forsake our need to actually connect with one another on a very human level, authentic level. And so that's one of the other things that we really promote through technology, is making sure that we're using it in a way that's not alienating, but it's actually like really providing a wonderful open communication to allow us to authentically connect. Because when people know, like, and trust you, that's when they're open, their wallet's open a lot easier, yes?
Yes.
Yes. So let's go ahead and dive right into the social media, because I know you are a branding expert. And so we have had other experts on our show talking about how to build a world-class brand, because it's so important to think of a brand as not just a logo or a color scheme. So you are an expert on the social media realm. And so obviously social media being a digital world, let's go ahead and have you explain to us, why is it so important that number one, why people should be on social media?
Okay, wonderful. Let's go. So the first thing I want everybody to understand when it comes to social media, when it comes to building a brand, whether it's online or offline, is that your digital you, so the you that shows up on all of your multiple platforms, your multiple channels, I say is equally important, if not sometimes more important, than your physical in-person you. So let me break that down and tell you why. Because your digital you, your personality, your persona, your everything that's on your social media platforms is on 24/7, 365. Your social media brand takes no breaks. It takes no coffee breaks. It takes no holidays. It takes no time off. It is out there consistently giving people a perception. And people are forming that perception about you as they pop onto your platforms. And here's a really important thing, Michelle. There are multiple times when people will be checking your social media, you didn't even know they were there looking. I can tell you countless examples, and I may go into a few, but know that 40% of all consumers visit your social media brand, your social media footprint before making a buying decision. So somebody will go to your website, they may go to your LinkedIn, they may go to your Facebook, and depending upon what is being communicated, what the expression of your brand is, will give them either pause or pull them in. So if you understand that this person, think of it of having an actual representative who's out there speaking on your behalf. What are they saying, right? If you were dealing with a person one-to-one, you would brief them and say, this is what I want you to say. This is how I want you to pitch this particular business for me. A lot of times people don't take that time in consideration for their social media. It literally just becomes sort of like the wall where they just throw whatever out there, and there's no strategic intent. So I say to my clients, when you're on social media, you pick a platform. Why are you on LinkedIn? What is the strategic intent for being on LinkedIn? What is the strategic intent for being on social media, TikTok, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, anyone, pick your favorite hub, but why are you there? And to be sure that not only is that intention clear to you, but then as somebody comes along and stops by either one of those platforms, that's coming across very clear. So if your brand is not delivering on your core key attributes that's going to set you apart in the marketplace, if it looks a hot mess, as I like to say, on social media, you're doing yourself a world of hurt. Because people are deciding, am I going to pick up the phone and call this person? No, I looked at her social media. All I see are, cat and dog videos, and she's ranting about this and that. Let me move on to somebody else. Happens all the time.
All right, so let's break it down for the audience. What is some of the elements that would create or help them to build that standout brand?
Absolutely. So people want to know what you're about. And if you imagine coming to a location where there's no sign, you don't know if it's a restaurant or a doctor's office. You don't have a set of guidelines that says, this is what this company is about, this is their philosophy, this is who this person is, so that people can either buy into your message, buy into your philosophy, or go somewhere else. They can make informed decisions. So number one, I always say the top portion of your social media platform, regardless of which it is, some of the most important real estate. And oftentimes people don't really focus on it. So let's take Facebook for example. Your cover photo. I always say your brand assets need to be working really hard for you. So if you are a person who is in, let's say you're in real estate, but your cover photo is just a picture of you on vacation with your family and your dogs. That might be a nice feel-good thing, but remember, people have short attention span, and the first time they lock eyes with you, they want to be able to know, oh, this is a top realtor in first-time home buyers, or this is a top realtor for luxury. So your cover photo needs to be communicating something of the essence of what your brand is about. Next, your summary, the intro. I can't tell you how many Facebook intros I see that are blank. Nothing. Tells nothing about you. So I always say to my clients, you want to put in, what is it that people are going to use to make a buying decision? Number one, your tenure in the position. So I always say, if you're 25 years in the business, 25 year plus, if you're doing this thing for 36 years, 36 year plus expert in X, Y, and Z, because people buy from confident people. And so if you're confident enough to say, look, I've been in this thing for 40 years. I know what I'm talking about. It doesn't make you braggadocious. I hear this a lot. People are afraid to put themselves out there on social media because they think they're being a braggart. And my comeback to that is, if you have gifts and talents that have been divinely appointed to you, it is your responsibility to let the people know that this is a person who is expert, subject matter expert, has integrity, has results, they've impacted lives. You have to let the people know that you exist, and you must do it in such a way that it helps you to stand out. So the top real estate, your intro, and then people miss this so much. In the featured section for photos, if most people, it's just a random collection of photos. You can actually go into that featured photos section and select which of the images you want to highlight. Again, if the people are busy and they're just, going by your page quickly, they want to see, do you have an award? You're an award-winning company. Have you written a book? The cover of your book. Are you a speaker? You speaking at, your local association's event. Things that are going to highlight the reasons why they should consider you, very important. So cover photo, intro, and your featured photo section, if everybody within the sound of my voice would spend some time making those sections work really hard, you're doing yourself, such a good by taking some time to focus on that.
Well, that was wonderful. Thank you so much. I'm a visual learner myself, and everything that Revealio does, which is our parent company, It's all about visibility. So how people perceive you within a matter of seconds is so vital. And I love even that simple little fix that you said about the featured photo section of any of the social media platforms. The fact that you can control what shows up there should more or less tell a very quick story of who you are as a professional. Now, the question I was having in my mind, so I'm assuming somebody else is going to ask this question too, when you're talking about it, like on Facebook, for instance, which is more of a social platform than, let's say, LinkedIn. LinkedIn is definitely more business centric. So on the Facebook platform, there is the ability for you to have your personal profile. Then there's a ability for you to have a professional page. So if you are your company, you are your brand, then you can have a fan page more or less there. And then it also allows us to have groups. So you can be a group leader. So can you explain to us on the Facebook platform in particular, when it comes to our personal profile, how we can still use it for our own personal socialization while also maintaining that branding?
Perfect question. I get that a lot. So no, you are not unique in your thinking. I say apply the 80-20 rule. I teach 80-20 or 70-30. So the 80 or the 70 being about your business and your brand. The 20 or the 30 is just you living your life, showing your interest, your passion, whether you're a volunteer, you take a picture of you at your local volunteer meeting and talk about all the wonderful things that you're doing in the community. Has nothing to do with your business, but people do business with people. So that's the first thing. Though we are multifaceted, though we are multi-talented, though we are multi-passionate, we are still just one person. We cannot divide ourselves. And so you have to be ready to present the whole. For me, social media, any of the platforms, are a business tool. It's a vehicle for reaching your people. I use this analogy all the time. I said, think about if you were going to take out a lease on a magnificent building on a beach, and the owner says, you can take this 2-story mansion, have your retreats, do your meetings, do your workshop. You don't have to pay for it. You don't have to pay any dues. And you can charge people whatever you want to come and use it, and that's money in your pocket. That's how we need to see social media. Yes, in its original form, right? If you think back, way back when Facebook was all about, like, right, connecting with your friends, like college kids, etc. It is completely since morphed into a portal where you come and you do business, you come and you share, your voice. I think more and more, a lot of the platforms are evolving, because even as we think about LinkedIn, which historically has just been a place where you go get a job or find a recruiter to help you get a job, LinkedIn has now also become a place where more socialization, more connection, more sharing your voice on issues really, really matter. So I think we need to take a broader view of it is another store location where I can find my people. Just as, take any store, for example, Macy's, right? They have a location in Treasure Coast. They have a location down in, West Palm. They have a location in California. It's just different locations. And so I just say, govern yourself accordingly. So whether you're on LinkedIn and you think it's a little bit more professional, and certainly there are more people there who lean in that direction, but you want to be your authentic you. This is the most important thing. I give you a funny example. Last week or a week and a half was International Tell a Joke Day. And so I shared on my social media, I had my team create a graphic of a 6 that was looking scared. And the joke was, why was 6 afraid of 7? And it was because 7, 8, 9. And it's just a little chuckle, just a little light humor. And on LinkedIn, one of my colleagues, who's like, I know LinkedIn's not a place typically for jokes and humor, but I'll play it along and et cetera. And then I just found an article right away, because that's the other thing, is I have all the data at my fingertips. A Harvard Business Review article that talked about the fact that actually humor and laughter in the workplace leads to greater productivity, leads to greater camaraderie. It doesn't have to be that you're this one sort of straight stoic person this place, and then on your Twitter you're something else, and then on your Facebook you're something else. So be your full authentic self. I should know within moments of meeting you, Michelle, I should know that you run Tech with Heart. I should know that you are owner in Revealio, and that Revealio does awesome things to bring brands to life. I shouldn't wait to meet you at a mastermind 6 months later or in a networking meeting 2 months later to find out. That is a core part of your identity. It's a core part of who you are. Here's where people miss it. They think it's either or. So you're coming onto your social media platforms and it's all promotion. Sign up here, come here, buy this, buy my stuff. And if you do that, then yeah, you're going to be missing a lot of opportunities. You just want to show up, expressing yourself authentically, honestly, living your brand. But yes, it's important to know that I do all things branding, particularly social media for my clients. Yes, I can show you, and I've done for myself, how to generate thousands of dollars from a Facebook Live. I got 2 clients, $22,000 plus in fees just from doing a Facebook Live. So it's not just about socialization. It's not just about funny memes. It's a way for you to connect.
Well, thank you so much for explaining that. I love all your stories too. That helps us paint a better picture too. So let's break it down just a little bit even more, if you don't mind. When it comes to creating graphics and visualizations of your brand, so before you go and create your social media accounts, you need to know who you are, what you stand for, and what the culture of your company is, and have more or less your brand identity figured out. You are your brand as well, so you need to have a personal brand, and I know that that's where you really excel, helping people identify what that personal brand is going to look like, especially women. I know you're very partial to working with women, but you also work with, you call them enlightened men. I love that. I love that a lot. But anyway, the idea of, okay, once we have our brand established, we've got our logo, we've got our color scheme, we've got our headshots, we're looking really fly, you know, and we've got some really nice graphics. Isn't it just super important to make sure that all of the platforms that we do choose to use has remnants or similarities enough of those branded elements so that it feels very coherent across all platforms? Can you speak to that a little bit?
Yes, 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 and yes. Cohesiveness you want. You don't want to create dissonance in people's minds. So when I say I go to LinkedIn and I see you, but I'm not really sure it's you because the picture looks different and I don't see anything about revealio. But then I go to Twitter and it's a completely different sort of mission statement. It's all over the place. A confused mind takes no action. So again, if I didn't know you, Michelle, and I met you and I'm like, I didn't catch her last name. I thought you said it was Michelle. And I go on to LinkedIn or I go on to Facebook and I search. You want that picture of you to be the picture of you now. Professionally, of course, I always say from the bust up, not a picture of you and a cat or somebody chopped out and you can still see the arm. You want to be pro. It's a picture of you now so that immediately I go, aha, that was Bowden. I forgot that. But now that I see her face, absolutely, I'm going to send her a connection request. I can't tell you how many times I've had people where I'm trying to connect with them. The name is like a first name and a last name initial. So then now I have to do the work to dig through all of the results to say, and look at the picture, because you know the picture comes up super small. Is that person? Is that? Make it easy for your people to find you. So yes to the cohesiveness, yes to the consistency, yes to the common denominators, that as I go from social media platform to social media platform, I know right away, of course, this is Michelle. Yeah, I see this picture of her doing something with revealio. I know it's totally her. You leave clues. And I can connect with you faster, and it's a much better experience than taking 5-10 minutes searching through, trying to find, is this the same person? Is this the same person? And here another reason why it's important to have that consistency, that cohesiveness across platforms. The people you're connected to on Facebook are not always also on LinkedIn. The people that you're connected to on LinkedIn are not always on your Facebook. So you want to make sure that the people you're connected to in wherever you decided to set up your base camp, your headquarter, have the same experience, have the same perception of you, that it's not a different look and feel when you're on Facebook than it is on LinkedIn. I mean, can you use different cover photos? Absolutely. I say your main profile picture should literally be of you within recency of, let's just even say 6 months, maybe max. You don't want to have an old picture that looks nothing like you, because then I start to question, is this really her? Is this a different person? Then I've got to dig through your profile. Then I've got to dig through and see. So make it easy for the people to find you on social media. Make it easy for them to do business with you. One other thing I'm going to add to that is when you're on Facebook, and Michelle mentioned having the fan page, you absolutely must connect your personal profile to your fan page. What do I mean by that? When you go to the employment, the work section, you need to create CEO founder. And I always like to do CEO founder, CEO something, because it just gives you a better energy. When you feel like you're representing your brand as a CEO, you show up with straighter shoulders. So CEO founder, whatever the title is, don't do self-employed, don't do work at, and you want to type in the name of your fan page so that pops up and you click that. So what does that do? Again, I've just met Michelle for the first time. I go to her personal page, and I know she talked about all the wonderful things that she's doing over at Tech with Heart. Let me click. Immediately, it takes me to her Tech with Heart page. I don't have to dig and find, because how do I know the name of her company if I didn't get a chance to speak with her after she spoke? If I didn't get a chance to hear from her, I would be guessing. And sometimes we have different company names and people don't know what they are. Make it easy for you people to find you. So on your platform, especially on Facebook, your work employment section, go, if you don't have this now, go in and create CEO, president, whatever you want to put, at, type in the name of your fan page. It should pop up and connect it right then and there.
Wonderful, wonderful tidbits of information to help us beef up and boost our social media presence online. When we come back, we're going to talk with Faith about a few more ways that we can really stand out with our social media brand. So thank you. We'll be right back.
The problem is that business owners are losing millions of dollars of potential revenue each year because they don't know how to stand apart from the competition. I'm Michelle Calloway. I am the founder and CEO of Revealio, an augmented reality marketing tool that we've created for business owners like you to help you captivate people's attention.
Oh, that's so cool!
Influence their buying decisions.
I like it.
Okay.
I like that a lot. Oh, I want that.
I love it. We do this by making your brand or product come alive with virtual content. You can actually take a viewer through the entire buyer's journey in less than 60 seconds. It's super easy to do. Just send us your artwork, send us your video, and we'll connect them and make the magic happen. So start standing out and influencing today.
Welcome back to Tech with Heart. We are with our very special guest, Faith James. And before the break, we were talking about how important it is to make sure that when you're creating your social media presence online, that you use continuity throughout all the different platforms. So the imagery and the headshots and the bio and the snippet that you put as far as like the what you do and links to your business sites and stuff like that are all the same no matter where you are on social media, whether it be Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, or Instagram. So now we're going to talk about, let me ask you, Faith, how important is it that when we are on more of a social media platform where we're talking more social, our personal social, like Facebook, you had talked about the 80-20 rule or the 70-30 rule, 80% being more business, so people have no question in their mind as to who you are and what you do for your business, so they can hopefully come along and support you. But then also you want to give them insight into who you are as a person, into your family, maybe into your life, and what you're all about when you're not working. And that's a wonderful thing. So let's talk a little bit more about that, because how important is it, Faith, for people to make sure that the people that they are associated with, I'm talking business owners, so business owners associating themselves with others online through social media, that build them up or make them shine brighter rather than pulling them down, what we call toxic relationships. And tell me some scenes or some stories that you may have about that in particular.
Perfect question, because this is so important. One of the things I say often is, show me your friends and I'll tell you who you are. We've heard that saying, and I think it holds true in this situation as well. Particularly important when you're building your business and your brand and it's so dominated by the reputation, right? You and I know, Michelle, word of mouth is one of the most critical, most significant forms of marketing out there. If somebody has good things to say about you, the chances are, even if they haven't heard of you before, they're going to be more likely to come closer to your campfire and learn more and then make a decision to do business or not. So your reputation is key. The people you align yourself with is so important. I talk about this in terms of brand alliance, brand alignment. Somebody may come to you and say, oh, I've got this great opportunity we can do X, Y, and Z. I'm going to do this, and we're going to get in front of all these people. And all you think about, ooh, they have a reach of 30,000 K plus. That's going to do so much for my business. I'm going to align with them. But if you don't first seek to understand, what is this person's mission? What is their point of view? What's their reputation in the streets? Because that is so important. Because again, people are quick to make judgment. Maybe not fair, but it is. And if you align yourself with somebody who, for example, let's say lacks in the area of integrity, very, very damning. You do business with somebody who doesn't deliver on time, doesn't deliver as promised, and is maybe rude, even, curt to their people, that's going to, just by association, rub off onto you. So I always say, not every money is good money. I say we live in an abundant universe. The money is not lost. All the money is there. You just have to get in alignment with what you know is your truth, what you're here to do, and find the people to come alongside you who also share those core values. So this is where the important work of doing brand foundation comes in, because if you don't know what your values are, right, we know that saying, stand for something or fall for anything. If you don't know what your values are, it's going to be very difficult for you to assess opportunities as they come your way. I have several people who reach out to me, almost like on a weekly basis. Oh, I want to do this and I want to do that. But I ruthlessly protect the interest of my brand, because that is what I have. I've spent years building, cultivating to get to the place that I am now. And just one or two mishaps can really send you in the wrong trajectory. So I say, forget about the money, forget about how many people they have on their emails. If you were going to ask yourself a question, does this dovetail, does this map to what I believe my path and purpose is in the world? Are we going to be using our superpowers for good? Then you make the decision. But if you know that that person doesn't have a high touch when it comes to customer care, they just deliver willy-nilly and they're not concerned about their clients getting results, then I would advise you to strongly consider not doing that partnership, and know that God's got something better coming for you. You thought this is it, but just wait, he's got something else. So to be discerning, really, really discern who you associate with, who you connect with. And because once you put it out there, it's forever cemented. It's very difficult to pull back. So yes, the brand alliance and the quality of people you align with and what they're all about, how have they treated their people, is very important.
That was awesome. Thank you. Because I agree. Even just by association. So on the personal level too, I wanted to speak a little bit more about that, because when you are, on Facebook and you have your own personal profile and you are living your life and you don't want it to always be about business, it's still always important to associate yourself with quality characters. There are times where you have friends from back in your childhood or even family members sometimes that can get a little vulgar sometimes online. And so what I've done is to not necessarily unfriend them, because I don't want to, I can accept them the way they are. I just don't want their behavior or language to taint my reputation. So what I'm able to do is I'm able to hide their posts from my timeline so that they will never ever taint my professional, brand, but I am not necessarily hurting them or offending them by unfriending them. So that is something else that you can do on social media. There's a lot of controls. You can, each platform has a lot of power where you can go in and you can block certain people from, or their posts from showing up on your timeline or whatnot. So that's just another added little trick that you can do. Faith, let's take it and wrap it up with some of your best success stories. I know you work with entrepreneurs who really want to build a stellar brand. So you start with them from the very beginning, and then what are some of the successes, like from doing some of these simple, guys, when you're listening or you're watching this show, what Faith is asking us to do is not rocket science. If you need help creating those graphics, you can go to Fiverr or Upwork or any of those places and hire somebody to help you create a stellar looking graphic to promote your brand so that there is consistency. But Faith, share with us some success stories from beginning to where you've seen now people winning just by doing social media alone, doing this branding on social media.
Absolutely. Happy to share so many, but I'm going to just pick a few. So I have one client who presented to me, probably we're going on coaching together now 2 years. And she was all over the show, as we say. She did a little bit of this, a little bit of this, did this. And again, what do I say? When you create mass confusion in the marketplace, people don't know how to do business with you, because one minute you're doing CBD, the next minute you're doing this, the next minute, right? There's no cohesion to how you're showing up. And so she had come to me at this point, really down, sort of frustrated, not really having great success, and wasn't really sure what to do. But she took a leap of faith, which I'm always going to say, it will be a leap of faith, because it is not branding in 2 days. Let me be the first to stand in my truth and let you know, it is not a quick 2-day workshop and your brand is done. This is a lifelong commitment. So she decided to enroll in the coaching program. She had, as I said, just a mishmash, maybe 3 or 4 different groups. The emails were different. It was just all over the show. Fast forward from going through the branding program, where when we talk about the branding program, it starts with the foundational work. So as Michelle, you had mentioned before, I don't start with a logo and colors and website. It really gets down to the brass tacks. So you think about a builder, and you go to a builder and say, I want to build a Tudor home. I love bay windows and I love skylights and I want a play pool in the backyard. The builder's going to say to you, where's the blueprint? An architect must first create that blueprint before that builder can start. Oftentimes, people are just out there being builders without the blueprint, and people fall victim to, sort of people who are not necessarily on the up and up. So the foundational work of what's your vision for the world? And we start really high, and for some people it hurts their brain. It's like, what do you mean, what's my vision for the world? But we went through that work, went through the mission, the vision, the values, the purpose, everything, doing that, then getting into the expression of that brand. So the colors, the logo. And when we do color analysis for our clients' brands, it's not based on the color they like. It's based on the color of their dominant attributes. So how are you showing up? Your color then gets matched to that. So it's a whole process that we do. And we branded her. And I want to say a year into it, she started getting speaking opportunities. She was being asked to contribute 2 articles that she wrote were picked up in online magazines. And then just most recently, a company on LinkedIn, a research-based driven company on LinkedIn, reached out to her, found her and said, I would like to have you on this podcast. We're going to interview you on this particular topic. And there she went. And then she told me a few days ago, she got another invitation. So when you build your brand and you build your brand correctly, people find you. Your people come looking for you. That's the difference between branding and marketing, right? Marketing is you're like, buy my stuff, 50% off now, buy my stuff. Branding is people coming to you and saying, I hear you are the expert on this topic. I want to connect with you. And that, she wrote this long list of things. I mean, grew her income, her Facebook group from, just a few, people to now over 600. Her connections in her industry as like a go-to person. She held recently sort of like a movie night on her social media platform. And so many people, she's connected with clients now all over the world. So growing from being confused and confusion to now she's built an international brand that people are now, research-based companies are seeking her out to contribute to the conversation. And that's just one of many clients that I can share. But I just want everybody to understand that it matters. It's necessary. It matters. You must build your social media brand. You must do it in a professional manner because, as I said at the top of the show, it's equally, if not more important than your physical you because it's never sleeping and it's out there communicating. So you want to present a good, sort of like put your good foot forward. And one of the key things when you build your brand professionally is you start to take on thought leader status. And that's the nirvana. When people are coming to you, they're leading, you down a path that says, I need you on this stage. I need you on this interview. So yeah, so many great successes. I don't want to take the rest of the show on that, but suffice it to say, I have several clients who came with nothing. There was no brand in sight. One client, in fact, last night, she's in the second week of her 4-week program that never existed before we started working together. So having a proof point of impacting business owners and showing the joy and the glee. I mean, she went from working at a retail store when she signed onto the program, like an associate cash register person at this retail woman's store, to now her brand is built as a CEO and founder of this really amazing life coaching company. She's working with women. We developed her mission statement, which is basically like, releasing a million women around the world from the tyranny of self-doubt. So when you have a big mission statement like that, not only does it take you in a place where strategically you can then determine, what do I want to add to this? Who can I bring alongside me in terms of a partnership that's going to also be on this mission? So, so many good things happening. Build your personal brand. It's important. It matters. And I would be happy to talk to anybody further about that.
That's awesome. Before we ask you to let people know how they can reach out to you, I just wanted to throw in a few more things that I know that will help you be attracting your perfect client through your personal brand or your business brand online through social media. And that is, use certain keywords that are going to help define the people. Try to put people in little buckets, like, okay, so this person over here is a brand specialist. This person over here is a marketing specialist or whatever. Use those keywords in your title so that people are able to find you easier. And there's no question in their mind when they read your title. Don't get so creative in your title that you lose their ability to put you into a bucket. Because ultimately, when they first encounter you, you may or may not be a good fit for them at that time, but you're still attracting attention, and they're going to put that mental note based upon how they felt about your whole overall presence and what they discovered about you. They're going to put that in their mind, and they're going to put you into a bucket. And so if they go to find you later, they'll remember that keyword or that phrasing or something that you did that was a common phrasing that they can recall later. So that's just my little tidbit too. So Faith, let's share with the audience how they can reach out to you if they want to learn more about your programs, just kind of identify certain things that they can potentially do beyond this interview here to build their social media brand.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you for that opportunity. So I would say the first place, if you're curious, you want to learn more, what is this, development process that you're talking about, go to speakwithfaith.com. Speakwithfaith.com. There we will be able to schedule a brand discovery session. It's an hour session with me for free. Everybody gets that if you are so inclined. And in that hour, what I do is sort of go through where you are right now, what you're trying to accomplish, what's sort of been holding you back, and what are some of the key things that you really, really are committed to doing. And so we do that for an hour. If you decide you want to do work further, we have the 6-week social branding bootcamp where I focus specifically on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram, and we go deep in each of those platforms. And I literally, alongside you, create those platforms to be pro status. By the time you're finished with the program, you will be night and day from where you are right now. So we can talk more about that. But if you're really just sort of in that query stage right now, you can just say, you know what, let me just start with, well, what's the state of my social brand? Where am I before I even talk about wanting to do more? So we have a link to another program element, which is your social brand audit. So you go through, you answer a series of questions, and at the end you get a tally, a score. So it gives you a sense of, out of a possible this is where you are. So you get a sense of exactly where do I need the most help? Where do I need to focus? It can help to guide you in a really meaningful way. So if you're ready and you want to do this brand work, speakwithfaith.com. If you just want to see where you are and not really have a conversation or any sort of commitment to do anything beyond that, then go ahead and complete the social brand audit survey.
And we'll be putting that link in the comment section of this post or in the YouTube description so that you can find it. And if you're listening to this through a podcast, just reach out to Faith at her website, speakwithfaith.com, and she'll get that link over to you. Just tell her you heard about her on the Tech with Heart TV show. And with that, I just want to invite you that if you are an entrepreneur and you want to potentially share what your giftings are, or you have something of value to share with an entrepreneurial audience, because Tech with Heart is all about empowering other entrepreneurs to be successful, not just only with technology, but with systems and business models. And so come to us, reach out to us at techwithheartnetwork.com. I invite you to join our mailing list so that you're also being privy to expert interviews and tidbits and workshops that we offer that will indeed help move that needle so that your business can grow faster. And we're getting ready to launch our Tech with Heart Foundation, which is our nonprofit. So we're very excited about that. And with that, we also are going to be offering membership in which you can get your business listed in our business directory and also potentially be an influencer in our influencer directory there as well. So look forward to talking to you if you're interested. techwithheartnetwork.com. Just reach out to us. It's free to be a part of our group initially, and you can level up and give yourself more visibility by becoming a member. So thank you for joining us on the Tech with Heart show. Faith, thank you for your expertise.
Thank you for having me. It was a great time with you.
All right, well, thank you for joining us. Until next time, have a blessed week, and here's to your success.